Hi guys, I'm Kasha. Welcome to our coffee times to talk about horror. And today I bring you my June TBR pile.
It's coffee time.
Sadly, last week I was only able to upload one video, and that is because between my jobs and the bathroom renovations, I have had no time, absolutely no time. And that is also why I am currently struggling to finish my May TBR pile. So it is kind of ironic that I'm here to tell you about all of the books that I'm planning to read on June when I'm already behind on May. But for the month of June, I'm going to be a little bit kinder to myself, and I did pick up books that are the majority on my Kindle, which normally I read faster, and also books that are not that long, so hopefully that will keep me motivated and I will have time to finish all my work. I will be able to help with the renovations, all of those good things. And we're already a little bit behind on the renovations because last weekend we started to install all the new piping system, which is now going to be behind the wall and it's going to all look nice and clean. But we had problems with the water and the pipes, and it's been a journey. But we'll get there eventually, and I'm really happy to finally see a proper bathroom at some point, so I'll keep you updated. But anyway, you guys, you're here because you want to know which books I plan on reading in the month of June, so let's get to that. Let's start with the book that I'm planning to read with my Patreons in the month of June, and that is The House That Horror Built by Christina Henry. This is a brand new release. I just got it from Waterstones. This is the Waterstones signed edition with the black spread edges that I wanted, and so I'm really excited to dig into it, even though I have not read all of the previous Christina Henry yet. But I do want to catch up on her books because there's something about the darkness in her stories that really resonates with me, and I have been really enjoying all the books that I have read by her so far. Our main character is a single mother and she loves horror movies, so when she gets offered a job to work at the house of a really famous horror movie director, of course she accepts the job immediately. So her job is basically just to clean his mansion, and the mansion is full of artifacts and like props from horror movies and all the good stuff, and she's having the time of her life. But then she makes some gruesome discoveries. I'm also really excited for this one because it doesn't matter how supernatural or how fantastical her books are, there's always some sort of element of, human evil that I love. So for the month of June, I kind of made my priority to get to some arcs that I had received for review that I still have not read, and I decided to read a couple of them, and some of them are brand new releases, so I thought it would be also good for me to read them and let you guys know if they are worth your time or not. The first one is not a new release, but it's like a re-release of the book, and it is a novella. Actually, it's quite short. I think it's only around 200 pages, so I thought it would be great for the month of June, and it's called The Night Guest. Our main character is tired of going to doctors. She has been to many doctors. Nobody can explain really her fatigue, and she's not getting answers. They're not taking her seriously, and she's still waiting for some more results from her blood tests. But every time she goes to a new doctor and she gets more tests done, they cannot pinpoint what's wrong with her, and her friends and family, keep saying to her, oh, you need to exercise more, you need to eat better, and all the things that she doesn't need to hear. She has already tried numerous things, vitamin pills, you name it, nothing has helped. And one day she goes to bed. When she wakes up the next day, she realizes in her step tracker on her phone that she has walked 40,000 steps last night. She doesn't know what happened last night, but walking 40,000 steps might kind of justify her, fatigue. The next one doesn't need much explanation. It is also another new release, and that is You Like It Darker by Stephen King. It is the new short story compilation, and it has a total of 12 new stories. This one does include a short story called Rattlesnakes, that it is a direct sequel to Cujo, so I'm really excited to get to that one. And yeah, I'll be reading this throughout the month. It's a little bit of a chunky boy, but since it's short stories, I think I can divide it during the weeks and make sure that I get to it by the end of June. Normally, I always make a reading vlog when there is a new Stephen King release, or I used to. So if you want me to do a reading vlog and give you my thoughts on the different stories, let me know down below. Dead Girls Talking by Megan Cooley Peterson, and this is a brand new horror YA book. We live in a small town, and Bettina lives in this small town, and her father is well known here, but not for good reasons. Her father is well known in the town as the Smiley Face Killer. So everyone knows that Bettina's father murdered her mother a decade ago, and now the town is kind of cashing out of it. They have like guided tours, and they are getting ready for some documentary series, and then there is a copycat killer, and Bettina starts to question if this copycat killer is actually the Smiley Face Killer and her father might be innocent. That's how she will meet Eugenia, who is the daughter of a mortician, and they will join forces, the both girls, to try to figure out who is behind the murders and if actually Bettina's father was responsible for that murder or not. So this is a story about justice and female anger, and I love that it is a small town, you know, full of judgment. They're also kind of making money out of a tragedy, and Bettina has to live with all of that around her, so I wonder what it is for her. So, you know, true crime, small town, girl power. I'm really happy that I get to read this one. Take All of Us by Natalie Leaf. This is another YA horror, and this is kind of like a post-apocalyptic tale, and it sounded really cool, so I'm really happy that I also get to read this one because it was also sent to me as an ARC. 5 years ago, a parasite poisoned Ian's water supply in this small town, and the people that got affected basically turned not exactly into zombies, but their eyes turned black. They were like almost dripping oil, and they started getting headaches. They were unable to function like a regular human being. They had seizures limiting their physical abilities, and so Ian and a couple of other people are trying to find those that are really affected by it and kind of give them a mercy kill, a mercy way out. There is a new report that comes out about the contamination, and the whole town needs to be kind of evacuated. So they're all on the run when Ian has a really bad fall. He hurts his head, he's sent to the hospital, and tragedy has it that he perishes. And this is not a spoiler because basically the little synopsis, little blurb of the book already tells you that an undead guy, you know, is trying to find his friend or his potential love, you know, partner before he disappears completely from the world. So Ian's friend slash love interest, Eric, is apparently not the good person that Ian thought he was, and that's what he's going to discover as an undead. So I think Ian is not like a ghost. I think he just turns like the other people in town with the black eyes and everything from what I can see in the cover. But I guess we'll find out when I read it. Small Town Horror by Ronald Malfi. This is another one that I got an ARC for, and I'm really excited for this one. I have read a couple of books by Ronald Malfi before, and I have loved every single one of them. I think he does a really good job at combining this typical detective investigation with true horror, and most of his novels are kind of like on the true crime horror aspect, because they all involved a murder or a serial killer, and I'm here for it. This one also sounds a little bit like It by Stephen King, because we have 5 friends that have to go back to their hometown where they grew up to confront some dark secrets and also a possible curse that's on them. Andrew gets a phone call from one of his friends from his childhood, and he is forced to return to his hometown where the kids are now adults, and they are going to have to figure out what happened when they were kids, and they're gonna have to figure out if there's a curse upon them and how to break it. So it kind of sounds like It Part 2 when they're already adults and they have to come back to Derry. So I'm really excited for this one. I love this kind of stories where kids hide a secret and years later as adults they have to go back and kind of confront it and deal with it. The next one is House of Hunger by Alexis Henderson, and the reason why I picked this one is because, as I've mentioned before in my videos, I'm really looking forward to catch up with vampire books that I have missed, and this is one of them. I think this one came out in 2022 and I've always wanted to buy it, and I finally have a copy, so I'm really excited to finally read it. For some reason I always assumed that this book was YA. I think it's because of the other cover the book has with a girl. For some reason that cover screams YA to me. I don't know why, but it is an adult book, and we follow Marion, and she has always lived in the very poor neighborhoods, and she's only used to, you know, poverty. When her luck is about to change, when she finds a newspaper advertisement, kind of like a listing, they're looking for a blood maid. Soon she will find herself in the House of Hunger, where she will be working as a blood maid, and this area where the House of Hunger is like a luxury where the rich people live, and there's this huge mansion, and apparently it's rumored that the people that are there actually do drink human blood. So I mean, you put two and two together, what do you get? Vampires. That's all I know about the book, and that's all I need to know because I'm really excited to dig into this one. And that is all, you guys. I'm going to be extremely lucky if I even manage to finish all of those, because I'm also still behind on the reading vlogs that I am recording in the background, you know, the 12 by 12 and the disturbing books. So I also need to catch up with those, and that's gonna take also some of my time because I really want to finish those videos and upload them for you guys on time. So wish me luck. I think this TBR is kind of doable because the majority of the books are around 300 pages or less. Not all of them. There's two bigger ones, the Stephen King book and the Ronald Malfi are longer, but the rest are all kind of shorter reads, so that's my hope, that I'm gonna be able to finish everything on time. And I decided not to add more books to my pile, even though there are so many books that I am dying and craving to read. But I thought, you know, even if I exceed all my expectations and I finish all of them on time, I can still add a book without having the pressure of not finishing my TBR, because I have been under so much stress and pressure in May because I don't see how I can finish my TBR on time, and I don't want to repeat that in June. Nobody wants that because I don't want to end up on a reading slump or something like that. So this is my TBR, keeping it simple for June. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have read any of the books that I have talked about, and let me know what you thought of them, spoiler free. And also, if you do plan a TBR pile like I do, tell me which books are you planning to read in June. Thank you guys as always so much for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next coffee time. Bye!